here to ask our newly joined intern maybe one question that you've been always wondering about. I'm asking the audience, maybe somebody from the audience, to ask a question. You seem to be quite open.
Hi, so it's a great honor to be here, and I want to ask it's my great honor to be here to meet CZ, and I want to ask you a question. So, how can you make the BNB chain greater?
I think there's no magic bullet, right? I think it's what we do here. I think what we lack the most is strong founders. So as long as we're strong builders building good projects on the chain, then the chain will get bigger and stronger. So I think the talent is the most critical resource. So I think there's no other shortcuts. I think all the competition among the different blockchains is about how to build ecosystems. So for that, we need strong founders, strong builders on the chain. So I'm quite happy, and also this is something I'm quite happy to do, to interact with founders, builders, and also see in whichever way I could help them. So I'm always happy to.
We have one more question. Thank you. I see some familiar faces here already. Nick, thanks for joining us.
I would love to hear what the BNB chain's intern has to say about the state of BNB restaking.
BNB restaking. Okay, yeah. I think, well, number one is I think we can develop more. I think the TVL locked on chain on BNB chain is still quite small. So there's a lot of room to grow. And there's a lot of volume that we can take from other chains, etc. And then we can also grow the space. But right now, even on BNB chain, I think the restaking is quite segmented. So now, there's so many different versions of something BNB, right? So, and from a user experience perspective, it's not very good. So you have to look at so many different protocols, so many different rates, etc. So I think hopefully as we progress and as the ecosystem becomes more developed, there should be a simpler, more unified lending products. And the problem with lending is that there's always some new player that wants to attract new users, and they will offer a very high yield. But usually they cannot do it forever. So the larger protocols with larger TVLs, they cannot give you 30%, right? So I think, but over some time, we should see some more consolidation. But I do think lending is a very key feature that BNB chain's ecosystem has not focused on before. I think before the ecosystem more focused on trading, liquidity, etc. But lending is a very big use case in traditional finance, and I think that's going to be a big use case on the blockchain. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. One quick question here from this side. Oh, thank you. Say you were first. Thank you.
Hi, CA. We are developing fair launch protocol, a new protocol, and also we deploying on Solana chain. And Solana really do good at the hackathon competition. So they give us many supported, and we got many attention. So I would like to ask you whether you would raise Binance hackathon competition so all of the developers can join.
Yeah, sure. We absolutely want to do that. So I think, to be very fair, I think Solana has spent a lot more money on building the ecosystem, incubations, different programs, sponsorships, etc. So I think historically we were quite before, a year and a half ago I was busy with Binance, and last year I was busy in the US. So we historically have not done very much on the ecosystem side. So I think we can do a lot more there, and we do plan to do a lot more there. So we want to run hackathons I want to run hackathons in every city every week.
We will be there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, one more question. Sorry, let's take this one here.
Hello, City. I want to know your opinion about the AI and the Web3. Do you think the hot or AI will make the Web3 will more difficult to development because there are more money go to the AI and less money go to the Web3?
Okay. Yeah, so there's quite a few things to say about AI and Web3. I think number one, there's a lot of synergies, but there's also a lot of fake synergies, I think. So the synergy is that when we do like payments in AI, right? So as some of the demos have shown, they should use crypto. They shouldn't be using filling your email address, and they should just be asking for a QR code. Well, the AI doesn't even need a QR code. It should just need an address, an API that you just pay. So they shouldn't be filling of personal information, bank cards, and all this other stuff. We shouldn't be seeing Visa on the payment pages, etc. So I think cryptocurrency is the native currency for AI. That's for sure. Blockchain data is also probably better than a centralized party collecting your data. But solving the privacy problem is quite difficult. So far, the real AI training data is not on Web3. They're done in traditional companies. But I do think that there is a model that we can make it work on Web3, but it's difficult, right? So as Ella just said, you need to get to scale for big companies to use your data. The other fake model, the other fake fits are like, right now everyone wants to, anyone who launches a platform to launch multiple AI agents, unlimited amount of AI agents, each one of them have a coin. That doesn't work, right? So we don't need that many tokens. We don't need that many AI agents. If you only need to spend like 3 seconds to create an AI agent, your AI agent doesn't need a token. Right, so like you're not going to be able to create enough unique value within 3 seconds on a platform that warrants a token. So I think there's too many AI tokens being created in Web3 right now. This problem is actually probably, in my opinion, is worse than the Web3 problem. It's worse than the gaming problem. The Web3 games are not as good as traditional games, but they're very good at the token models and how to incentivize users. But where the Web2 games are good, they may be good at gameplay, the good ones, but they don't have a token model to incentivize their users to accelerate growth. This problem is even heavier on AI. Every agent that takes 1 second to create launches a token. Okay, we don't need those tokens, I don't think. So I think to launch a token, you need a very large number of economic volume. So you need a large number of transactions, large number of users to be able to sustain a token model. So if something takes 3 seconds, that token is not going to last. So so I think long term, the two fields has a lot of synergy. I'm not worried about AI taking investments away. Money is not a limiting factor today. It's talent. So there's so much money in AI. There's so much money in blockchain. And you can see that, not bragging here, but if I tweet about a meme coin, that goes up, right? So there's a lot of money willing to invest. It's just that we lack good projects. So the talent is the bottleneck. It's not money anymore.
Yeah, thanks a lot for this. One more question, 2 more questions is fine?
Maybe 1 or 2 more, yeah. Maybe
Okay, 2 should be fine. Okay. Sorry, you've been here. Yep.
Okay, I'm so honored to be here, and my question is, may I have your insights about the perp DEX? So, and the second question
so
is
about?
Perp DEX.
Perp DEX, okay.
Yeah. So my second question is, have you ever opened futures trading on DEX? And I just feel it's quite hard to gain user growth and trading volume growth on perp DEX track. So may I have your insights about it? Sure.
So number one is I think perp DEX is going to be a really big field. So I think it's not developed right now. I traded futures years ago, but I never traded futures on Binance, the centralized exchange. I just never placed a single order. But I do know the product. I've been working in the trading systems for years. I ran the Bloomberg futures tradebook system like 20 years ago. So on DEX, I did try recently on Aster DEX, the previous version, Apollo X, etc. But that experience actually wasn't that good because the slippage is high. What you see and what you get is quite big. The difference is quite big, which is not good. So, but I think there's some advantages as well, though. I think the blockchains need to get faster. We need to get more lower slippage, and the gas fees got to reduce. And also, we need more perp DEXs. Right now, there's like Hyperliquid is probably the highest DEX, right? But we've seen the Hyperliquid have some issues. I think I mean, to be very frank, I think what happened with Hyperliquid, if they just delisted Jelly, it'd be fine. But when they change the Oracle price, it's not so good. They probably should just have taken the $12 million loss. That will probably be a much better way to handle the price that instant. But again, it's up to them. So I think we're still at very early stages of perp DEX. And so in any industry, the early movers are not always guaranteed to be the lasting one. I think there's a lot of room for innovation, and that's also why we invested in Aster DEX. So I'm obviously a little bit more biased because Aster DEX is native on BNB chain, but they're cross-chain, so they support multiple chains, etc. But actually, we want to invest in more. So I think they should be usually the winners determined after you have like 100 perp DEXs competing for like a few years, and then the winner emerges. So I think we're just still at a very early stage.
Thank you for the insights. Before I give the mic to the next one, I only promised it to this gentleman here. I just want to point out that there's also an event tomorrow at Clubhouse the day thereafter as well. So you're really welcome to join us there. Be sure just to register on time so that you can get in, obviously. I'm going to give one more question to the gentleman right there. And after, we're going to start the networking. There's going to be opportunities, to have a picture as well, so it's perfectly fine. And on this occasion, I would really like to thank you for being here, and looking forward to the question.
Hello, Cindy. I see you so many questions reply with English, so this question I want to ask is Mandarin. 所以说这个问题我想用中文去提问。就作为一家二线的交易所的这样上币的负责人，其实我们看到越来越多的项目开始代币化。无论在往年的2049有很多的不同的概念出来，那可能很多的项目它没有完全成型就已经越来越代币化，比如说 RWA、DPIN 各种赛道。那您对目前整个这个行情的一个趋势，或者说越来越多的项目代币化这种情况，你觉得你是怎样的判断？谢谢您。
OK， 我觉得so I'll answer this one English or Chinese. I guess English is probably better. English is probably better. Yeah. So I think everything should be tokenized. So every project, every building, every currency, everything, right? So everything should be tokenized. But there's a timing. Let me rephrase. I think everything that's worth value and have liquidity should be tokenized. But I don't recommend people launching a token too early. If you're running a startup, don't launch a token until you have proven product market fit. Because once you launch a token, the problem, you get distracted with a token. Yeah, you kind of, and also if you don't have enough volume, then your token is not going to have liquidity, and the token price drops, and then your investors or your community loses money, and then they attack you, they say bad things about you, and then and then also after you launch a token, you can't really pivot very well, because every time you pivot, you got to worry about every time you pivot your product, you're going to hurt some holders and benefit some other holders potentially. Right, so you don't want to launch a token too early as a startup project. Once you have a really good product, you just got to scale. You just got to get more users, get more marketing. That's when you launch a token. So so when I say everything should be tokenized, but it should be everything that has value and have liquidity should be tokenized. So anything that's kind of mature. But the problem today we see that many founders want to launch a token to raise money. And so, so then this way creates a bit of a dilemma. So I highly recommend that most people go through what we call VC investments or incubations, etc., to raise money early on, and not launch the token at first. So it's a hard balance, but I would actually encourage people to launch tokens as late as possible. If you have 1 million users with a real product, not just some fake volume, then you should launch a token. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. So we're all waiting for the projects that are going to be announced as winners. So please keep an eye on our X account. We're going to announce our winners there. For this occasion, I would like to thank everyone for coming. We are going to close the event at 8 p.m. As I said, everything is going according to rules and it's fine.